So we are looking again at the volume of cylinder, but here a slightly different aspect. Let's see. The diagram on the right shows a different cylindrical tank, which has a volume of 81 multiplied by pi divided by 125 meters cube. Its length is 3 times as long as its radius, as shown. Work out the radius of this tank in meters. Now, when they are giving you an answer in any maths question, doesn't matter what area, like here, normally they will say, well, calculate the volume, but here they gave us the volume. In order to answer this question, we have to ask ourselves a question, well, how did they got that volume? So again, we go to the table and we look for the formula of the volume of the cylinder. And on page 10, here we have V represents the volume. So we understand that that is the volume of the cylinder. Let's write it down. So volume of cylinder will equal pi multiplied by radius to the power of 2 and multiply by height. So that's how they got this number here, 81 pi over 125 equal pi is a pi, multiply. Now, we are left with radius and the height. We are not given any of those, and actually radius we need to find. So what other information they told me? That's what they say. They are saying that length is 3 times as radius. So let's change that into maths. Length is 3 times radius. There it is. And what is the length in that formula? That's my height. So that's what height is. Height is 3 times radius. So if we write it down, so radius here to the power of 2, multiply, and instead of height, we are saying 3 multiplied by radius. 3 multiply by radius. Now we have an equation with one letter. R, pi is not a letter, it's a number. So therefore we can solve that. Now where are we going with our calculation? On one side of the equation we want number, and on the other side of the equation we want letter R. So that means that here we don't need this pi and we don't need this 3. How do we get rid of them? Well, it's a multiplication. When we are multiplying, when there is a multiplication, we want to get rid of it, we divide. And we divide both sides of the equation. Why do we divide? Because pi divided by pi will be 1, and 3 divided by 3 will be 1, and therefore we are left only with R. Okay, now this side of the equation, instead of having fraction upon fraction, what we can do, we can say that fraction is divided by pi multiplied by 3. And that equal, now on this side of the equation, we have r to the power of 2 multiplied by r. What can we do here? Well, we can only write that in a shorter version. We can say that that is the same as r to the power of 3. Basically, r multiplied by itself 3 times. Now again, where are we going with the calculation? We want the value of r, not r taken to the power of 3. How do we get rid of that power? How do we get rid of any power? We take a root of the other side. This power is telling us which root. In this case is the third root, or what we know commonly as a cubic root. So here under the root we have our values pi 3 and that equal radius. So now we have moved all the numbers on the other side and now we have only letter on this side. We can put all of that in our calculator, press equal, and we have that radius is 3 over 5 and it's meters. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the measurement. It is meters. So there it is. We find our answer. Now, that was pretty difficult. However, we're going to keep on going with the volume and area. It will go with us to the Junior Cert, and this idea will be even developed further. So we really, really need to understand volume and area.